Julius Caesar. One of the most famous men in ancient history, he crossed the Rubicon, seized power, and destroyed the Roman Republic. That's the story you learned, history driven by extraordinary individuals making extraordinary choices. But what if the choices were real and the outcome was inevitable? What if the structure of the Republic guaranteed that someone, if not Caesar, then someone else, would do exactly what he did? In 88 BCE, a Roman general named Sulla marched his army on Rome. First time in history, a Roman commander had turned his legions against the Republic. This was 20 years before Caesar was politically relevant. Then Pompey raised a private army and demanded command. Then Caesar crossed the Rubicon. Then Octavian did the same. 4 different men, 4 different personalities, 4 different decades. The same action. If this were about individual character, it would have happened once. It happened 4 times. Something in the structure of the Republic was producing this outcome, regardless of who held the command. The question isn't why Caesar crossed the Rubicon. The question is why the Rubicon kept being crossed. So what changed? To answer that, we need to look at 2 versions of Rome. In 300 BCE, the Republic worked. When the common people demanded political rights, the system negotiated. The conflict of the orders was resolved through institutional channels. When land ownership became unbalanced, the Licinian-Sextian reforms passed through the assemblies. Citizens were small farmers who served in the army. Power was distributed across the Senate, the assemblies, and the tribunes. No single group controlled everything. We measure coupling across 5 dimensions: how concentrated decision-making is, how intensely the elite extracts, how dependent the system is on single points of failure, how diverse the information channels are, and how independently the parts can function. On these measures, the early Republic scores around 3.4, well inside the self-correcting zone. Then the conquests happened. Rome conquered the Mediterranean, and the wealth transformed everything. Slaves flooded in by the hundreds of thousands. Vast slave-worked estates swallowed the small farms. The senatorial class captured the courts, the governorships, the priesthoods, and the military commands. The same families controlled everything. The late Republic scores 7.2. The threshold is around 5. Rome crossed it. Watch the mechanisms operate. The Gracchi brothers proposed land reform. Tiberius Gracchus in 133 BCE. His younger brother Gaius a decade later. Both were murdered, not by foreign enemies, by the Senate. The institution designed to check elite power had been captured by elite power. After the Gracchi, every institutional channel for redistribution was closed. Meanwhile, the Senate governed an empire stretching from Spain to Syria. Their information came from provincial governors, who were themselves senators with personal interests in the provinces they governed. A governor looting his province had every reason to report that everything was fine. The Senate couldn't see what was happening, not because they were stupid, but because every channel was coupled to the system being assessed. Then the cascade. Marius reformed the army to solve a military problem. Landless citizens could now enlist. It worked, but soldiers became loyal to their generals, not to the Republic. Military power became political power. Sulla used it first. The precedent cascaded. Pompey, Caesar, Octavian, each one following the path the structure had opened. Here's what the conventional story misses entirely. Every Roman who tried to fix the Republic made the coupling worse. The Gracchi's murder proved that institutional channels were closed. That pushed the next reformer toward violence. Marius's army reform solved one problem and created a worse one. Sulla's dictatorship shattered constitutional norms, which made Caesar's dictatorship thinkable. Each fix increased coupling. Each intervention fed the mechanisms it was trying to stop. This isn't irony, it's the structure of a system past the threshold. At high coupling, every action, reform or tyranny, produces the same structural outcome. The reformers and the tyrants were pushing in different directions. The system moved the same way regardless. Rome isn't a story about ambitious men. It's a story about a structure that made ambitious men inevitable. The same pattern, the same mechanisms, the same threshold. Visible in the Maya, in the Soviet Union, in every system that coupled itself past the point of self-correction. The personalities change, the structure doesn't.